Okay, workbook, Course in Miracles workbook for students, lesson 8. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. Yeah, the day before was I only see the past. Did we do... Oh,
We did
sorry.
7, yeah.
We did 7?
Uh-huh.
Okay. My mind is preoccupied with the past. The idea is, of course, the reason, or this idea is, of course, the reason why you see only the past. No one really sees anything. He sees only his thoughts projected outward. The mind's preoccupation with the past is the cause of the misconception about time from which your seeing suffering. From which your seeing suffers.
Same thing.
Yeah, close. Your mind cannot grasp the present, which is the only time there is. It therefore cannot understand time and cannot, in fact, understand anything. The mind's, it says, no one really sees anything. He only sees his thoughts projected outward. So the ego projects and spirit extends. That's one of the themes as well in the course. And so what that means is the ego is always projecting out to see the world. And if you're always projecting out to see the world, you're always seeing what you project. And so if I project it out, that means the projector, it's like the movie projector is within and it's projecting out, and then you're seeing without that which is within. It's a full-on projection, like as if you're in a theater. And so you walk around, and literally, if you can even see it like these light beams coming out of your eyeballs, and the screen in front of you, and you're just looking around, and you're like, wow, everywhere I see, it's out there. It's everywhere I see, it's out there. I see it, it's out there. Everywhere I see. But if you're the outside looking at this person, it's just this field of vision that they keep looking around, and they just see the projector. They don't see that it's projecting. It's not actually out there. There's actually nothing out there. And so you have this thing called consciousness, and consciousness, you could say that the consciousness is the screen. Maybe I'm not going to get this analogy quite right, but you have this ability to be conscious of something. And so it's like these ideas are getting projected onto consciousness, which is the screen, and the ideas that are running are flickering and moving just like a movie screen.
Sure.
And then we think that's reality. And so that's why you could look at somebody and one person can see friend, and the other person right here could look at that same person and see an enemy. Or you can walk in, me and my sister in high school, she didn't like going to places, and she was more pessimistic than I was, and we would walk into the same room of people, and she would be like, she'd be terrified, like, oh my gosh, this is going to be horrible, this room full of new people. And I would walk in and be like, this is going to be awesome. A room full of new people.
100 new friends.
That's right. I'm so excited, all my friends. She's like, they all hate me, they're looking at me and judging me. And it's the same neutral backdrop. And in the same way, we can see life, and we can see death, or we can see separation, or we can see sameness. And that it comes down to that. Spirit looks out and sees spirit, and ego looks out and sees distinctions. And we think, well, distinction, isn't that good to have distinction? Isn't that good to have layers and things you can measure by? And of course, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad.
So when we leave, when our soul leaves the earth or whatever, like when we go to heaven, let's just say in simpler terms, like our projection of heaven is also ego or spirit?
Mm-hmm. As long as you think you're a separate entity and there are separate things, we're still in this
Ego.
projection
But
mode.
when we get
Yeah.
over to the other side, we won't feel that. We will feel that we are one. At least that's what I've heard. So we will see spirit.
Well,
Right.
there's a whole bunch of spiritual people doing all kinds of spiritual things and having spiritual meaning and
Yeah.
having given us layers once again.
Yeah.
So, you have all the
So
layers
that's
of
their egoic interpretation of
It's-
the spiritual side.
it's all ego. Yeah, it's all ego.
Okay, got it.
Now, once again, it's not bad.
Because I want what they had on the other side.
Oh yeah, it's like, when you step out of heaven, actually you can get to the astral before you get to heaven. You can get there now, and then you go from astral to etheric, and then once you can achieve the etheric level, then you can get to the causal level, and then you can cause your own world. It's like, yeah, that probably is, that's a real experience. I don't doubt the experience of it. And once we step out of the body, the majority, if not all, of the suffering that we experience
Yeah.
probably goes away. But it's still not reality. It's this next level of experience. And experience itself is a part of this distinction thing that we do. This, not that. This, not that.
Yeah.
There's a line between you and me. The line of me stops right here, and then there's this line of not me, not you, and then there's a line, and then you start, right? All this distinction stuff.
Yeah. I do know that when people sorry, I know I refer a lot to the near-death experiences, but I do know when people come back, they say there aren't words to explain certain things, or not enough words to explain certain things, and they try to do their best to explain what it is in our language, but you can't because they're seeing sounds or hearing colors or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
everything starts to blend, and the law of one talks about this too. How all the different densities, and there's the density, what is it, the eighth density, where something starts over, or ninth density, whatever it is. You know what I mean? There's all these densities that go through, and they're basically different layers of awareness, from mineral to like rock substance, to organic, to moving life, to the life that we have, like
Sure.
this cognitive awareness, ability to choose our own demise, like this weird thing that we're in right now.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Everything All at Once? Everything.
Yeah,
Such a fucked up
I know what you're
movie.
talking about.
But when you said
Everything
a rock,
always all at once or something. Yeah.
at the
Oh
end,
yeah.
they're
Should I think?
they're rocks.
Oh, rock.
Sorry. Just makes me think of that. Everything is everything. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to remember that none of it's bad. It's like there's not a bad version, and it's actually not bad that we're in, even though I'm like, this sucks.
Sure.
It's not bad. In fact, we agreed for this. We're not a victim to this. And I don't know how exactly that happened, but there's lots of, like all the
Right.
near
They tricked me.
all the NDEs, right? You're like, you have a little meeting after you're done and be like, all right, group, how'd that go? Like, wow, that was crazy. I'm glad we did that version. Or, okay, let's do it again. This time, you're going to be the bad guy. I'm going to save you, and,
Stupid.
all right, let's go. Back in.
Ugh.
And then we forget.
It's like when I got pregnant for the second time, I forgot how horrible childbirth was.
That's right.
It's fucked up.
You're like, oh no, I forgot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We forget, and that's kind of the nature of being a human. We forget. It's like, it's everything. We forget about the good stuff. We forget about the bad stuff. So, all the while, the experience. It's really helpful though to know the experience we're having right now is all projection. So if I'm experiencing foe, it's projecting out of me. That's why forgiveness is the answer, because what that does is it alters, back to the movie projector analogy, it alters the film that's going through the light. So the film going through the light, and as that light goes through the film, it creates an image on the screen of consciousness that we're watching. And when I forgive, I change the film. I make new film. It's new images. That's how you adjust what film you're watching, is to forgive. And so what is forgiven? Is it really changing? It's kind of like, it's more probably, to use maybe a little different analogy, I'm going to take, have you seen those shows where they make a picture and they keep on adding new layers? Or it's just new layer on new layer, new layer, new layer, new layer. And it's shining through, and at the end it makes a picture. Or you could even just take items off the picture. Anyway, we're removing these things. And then as we remove
Like
our
a 3D
judgment,
pop-up card. Is that what you're talking about? Something like
could be like that, but just imagine, there. I just watched all these art hub things on Instagram or whatever. And it's like making this elaborate picture, but it's just layer after layer after layer after layer, and at the end it creates this thing. You're like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We're just removing these layers.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, that was a long explanation.
It's okay. I think when I think of this, I think about like Ted Lasso, Be a Goldfish, where it's like,
I love him.
don't hold on to the past, because I'm thinking about that a lot with my relationships with certain friends, where I'm like holding on to my past judgments of them, and it's really affecting like how I project, like how I talk to them now, because I'm like, I already told you once, why do I have to tell you again, like in anger? But it's like I need to be more just patient and like start over. Okay, whatever I said the first time didn't work, like let's start over and not be so angry, because the more I'm angry about the past and having to say it over and over again, the more my message I feel like is not as clear, because there's no love behind it. I don't know if that's right, but definitely need to get rid of the past when I'm
It is.
dealing with the present.
Having patience with yourself is also really important, because a lot, if not all of the frustration we're experiencing right now is a planned engagement. We knew exactly what this would do to us, to ourselves. I knew this was going to be difficult for myself. And so that's why I planned it, because I wanted this particular chance to work on this particular thing. And, technically in this illusion, in this experience of life and lives and thousands of lives and millions of lives, maybe we've been working on this for 1,000 of the lives. Like, it's a really tough lesson, the thing we're in right now that's tough, most likely. And most likely, we're doing, if we're aware of it, we're doing a good job.
Okay.
Like, amazing. In fact, it's monumental and a gift to be aware of these things that are causing our suffering. It's incredible, actually.
Okay.
Because there's a good chance you've spent 1 million lives not even being aware, just like wiggling around and cursing the heavens,
Yeah. What? We haven't heard from you today. Oh no.
Oh no.
It's okay.
You-
You can listen to the playback after.
You know what, we should make it into a phone call, so that
Yeah.
next time.
Or I can just call you back. Yeah, you want me to call you back?
That's okay.
Oh, next time? Okay. You like looking at us?
Or we can do both.
Yeah. See, like, right, I couldn't hear the first part of what you said, but it's okay. Yeah. I'm like,
That's awful. This whole time,
She's like,
she's just nodding her head.
God bless you. You're so wonderful.
She didn't even hear that.
We get along so well because I don't understand you.
I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna call you back.
oh, okay.
Okay, bye.
It can be just a voice call.
Yeah, I don't have to.
Oh, that's her email.
Yeah, that's how she FaceTimed me. Oops, sorry. On her.
I figured though with the film and then the adding versus and then how it all comes together.
Yeah,
And then
that's good.
Yeah.
It's
With
a
the
good.
hand motions, it helped.
It's like we're speaking Italian, and you're just picking it up.
Yeah, getting the gist of it.
Hey.
We'll just point to things.
Yeah, and again, I'll listen to the playback. So
Cool.
Okay. So, no one really sees anything. He sees only his thoughts projected outward. Verse 2. The one wholly true thought one can hold about the past is that it is not there. To think about it at all is therefore to think about illusions. Very few have realized what is actually entailed in picturing the past or in anticipating the future. The mind is actually blank when it does this, because it does not really think about anything. Like Layla was saying, the whole course, the whole message is wrapped up in, sometimes in every sentence, but in paragraphs. Like this is another one that wraps up the message in a big way. There's another line that says it more clearly. There is no world. There is no world. We're like, well, how do I change the world? How do I make myself better? How do I make it better? How do I not suffer so much? How can I be happy? How can I achieve these fruits of the Spirit? All of these say the same thing, and they're all saying I want the world to be different, which presupposes the world is real. And
it's outside.
And you have to, that's right, you have to have an outside that's there. And to have an outside that's there, the way that we build it is our thoughts. And where do we get the data about our thoughts? We get the data from the past and the future. And we purposefully are never in the present. And then the reason is, if we're fully in the present, there is no time. And in fact, there is no present.
It's blank.
There is no, well, our mind is blank, it's saying right now. But if we were in the present, that would also not exist, because the way that we see present right now, the way that the ego sees present, is just that interim between past and future. Yeah, and so...
The future is our creative mind, like what could happen, and the past is what has happened.
Well, the reality is they're both the same, but we think of them differently. We think, oh, it happened in the past. It's going to happen in the future.
Got it.
But the reality is it never happened. Either has never happened, nor will happen. So it's made up. And so once again, it's not bad to make it up, but if we are making it up, might as well make up a good one. That's right. Okay. The purpose of these exercises, verse 3, the purpose of these exercises for today is to begin to train your mind to recognize when it is not really thinking at all. Am I in the past? Am I in the future? Am I in the past? Am I in the future? Bing, 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 bing. Back and forth and back and forth. While thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, the truth is blocked. Recognizing that your mind has been merely blank, rather than believing that it is filled with real ideas, is the first step to opening the way to vision. Vision in the Course is seen as Spirit sees. The exercise for today should be done with eyes closed. This is because you actually cannot see anything. And it's easier to recognize that no matter how vividly you may picture a thought, you are not seeing anything. Because when we're seeing and picturing things, it's the world of form, and we're cutting off true meaning by putting our definition on it, which is what we have to do by creating the idea of a form, the image in our mind. With as little investment as possible, search your mind for the usual minute or so, merely noting the thoughts you find there. Name each one by the central figure or theme it contains, and pass on to the next. Introduce the practice period by saying, I seem to be thinking about this bench. I seem to be thinking about getting fired. I seem to be thinking about...
Interesting. Okay.
Then name each of your thoughts specifically. I seem to be thinking about Carolyn. about breakfast, about getting to work on time, da 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 da, and so on. Concluding at the end of the mind searching period with, but my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I seem to be thinking about my car starting, but my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. This can be done for 4 or 5 times during the day, unless you find it irritates you. You will like me when I'm irritated. If you find it trying, 3 or 4 times is sufficient. You might find it helpful, however, to include your irritation. I seem to be irritated at this Course in Miracle lesson, but my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts.
Okay.
Or any emotion that the idea for today may induce in the mind searching itself. So once again, this is just bringing awareness. It's bringing awareness to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm going to write this one down.
One of the things that Carolyn and I used to do is we would flip into third person when we would get upset, and instead of "I can't believe you're doing this to me," we would be like, "Javon is." I would say this, but to Carolyn, Javon is very concerned that you would do this to him, and as soon as you flip into third person, it makes the fight kind of silly, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it adds this different perspective to it. Once, like you're narrating your story.
Sure.
And
as an outsider, you're not feeling like you're thinking about.
That's right. And instantly, your language starts to point to a different experience, such as "I am angry" is very different than Javon is angry, which is different to Javon has the experience of anger.
It's funny that you say that, because I watched this thing the other day about this lady where she was getting pushed off. She got backed into and fell off a balcony, and she kept yelling that so-and-so. She was saying, talking about herself in third person. And everyone was making fun of her, but I wonder if that's why she didn't feel anything, because she was like, I don't know, it was crazy. She's like, Pamela's not hurt. Pamela's fine. It was weird.
Yeah, nuts. Yeah, they're nuts. But you know what? We're all nuts. That's the secret.
Yeah.
Is we're all nuts.
Cool. Sorry, I have a workout at 7.
Okay. Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.